Hello, welcome. I'm Jacob Blunkers from JLQ, and I want to get right into this. This is the Quiet Carry Chase. Roll that B-roll. So really quick, we're going to run down the specs on the Quiet Carry Chase. Here we go. Blade, 2.95 inches. The handle is 3.96 inches, making that an overall tip to tip 6.9 inches. The blade is a N690 CO stainless steel with a drop point. Scales are a G10 in black or OD green. You also have optional scales of the resin, which also reduces the weight from 2.8 ounces to 2.6 ounces. The blade is a flat grind. The lock type is a liner lock. It is 1.104 inches blade thickness. I have the PVD coated blade, but you also have an option for a satin finish. This is a tip up carry only, non-ambidextrous, so you only have one side there, but it is a deep pocket clip. Thing is awesome. And this is all running on a smooth phosphor bronze washers. So what I like to do usually is go over the pros and the cons in my knife reviews. So let's run through those. Some of the pros of this wonderful Quiet Carry are the overall aesthetics, the ergonomics, the fit and finish. We also have the smooth action and that pocket clip. We got to talk about that. So let's deep dive a little bit further into each one of these pros on the Quiet Carry. Then we'll get right into the cons. So overall aesthetics, this thing has a great silhouette, open and closed. Near perfect scale in your hand. I mean, I really think it really fits well. It's not too big, not too small, so I'm a huge fan of that. The blade shape, love the drop point, love the front swedge. The thumb hole is great, which we'll definitely get into the action part of this. And the jimping also, great aesthetic appeal, and also helps, of course, with the ergos and the overall purchase on the knife. And then I just gotta say, when I think of a knife, I think of this. I think of the Chase. I mean, this thing just overall looks like a great knife, and not aggressive, just a wonderful overall, great looking blade. Huge fan. All right, next we're going to talk about those ergos. The thing just works. I have pretty good sized hands, nothing too crazy, and I just love this thing. So let's talk about those ergos. The ergos are really little to no hot spots on this thing. Great jimping along the blade and also underneath. It has great jimping underneath the blade too. With your release for your liner lock there, has a good bit of grip for your finger to lock into. You're not going to be dropping this thing. It has a really good overall feel. The purchase is excellent on this knife. The G10 on this thing is grippy, but doesn't really tear up your hands at all. It's just a really good overall feel. And also, this thing is light in the pocket. It just disappears in the pocket with that overall pocket clip. So we can just really dive right into the pocket clip right away. This probably is the best clip that I've ever got to use. Bryce, you did it. I mean, this is like near perfection. The thing doesn't have any hot spots. Really, when I grip it, even if I'm grabbing it hard, nothing. I mean, the hand is great. It just falls into your hand. So awesome design there with that pocket clip. Thing is all the way deep. It just disappears in your pocket. You don't even know it's there until you need it. And it just, can't even tell there's a knife there. I mean, it looks like a pen in my opinion. And so great job there, and just near perfection with the integration. It tucks right behind in. You have one screw on the inside when you take it apart to hold it in. Just great, love it, great job. Next, let's talk about that fit and finish. Quiet Carry is definitely known, in my opinion, as great fit and finish, great overall tolerances, and tolerance stack-ups. Everything just lines up and goes together nice and easy. When I took this thing apart, definitely we went back together great, and it overall still centered perfection. And yeah, great job. Great fit and finish. No complaints about that at all. All right, next let's talk about that action. Thing is buttery smooth, all running on phosphor bronze washers. Nothing's gonna get this thing, gummed up like bearings do. So thing's gonna run nice and smooth forever. The thing just there's no drop shuttiness, but if you get everything tuned perfectly, the thing just opens up like a dream. Out of the box, it was a little stiff, but nothing too bad. It wears in. That's the great thing about bronze. You flick it open. A lot of different actions to open it. This thing has a fidget factor like you just can't believe. I have about a 20-minute commute to my job every day. So yeah, this thing, the last few weeks, just sitting there, listen to a podcast, and I just operate it, flick it open. So I definitely probably operate this thing more than some others will ever in its lifetime. So well done, Bryce. Well done, Quiet Carry team. This thing is a dream. Great action, smooth, just what I want. Really, I mean, yeah, bearings are fun, get that flick factor, but this thing as a open with your thumb type kind of knife with that thumb hole, wonderful, wonderful job. All right, now we got to get into kind of the rougher part of the review, the cons. Really two that I could really find, which, I mean, nothing's perfect. So first off, what they are, probably the steel, a little bit of con there. Well, I'll deep dive into that more. And also these back screws were kind of I'm grabbing at straws here. I'm trying to figure out what I can knock down in this thing, because I really do love this knife. It almost hits everything out of the park. But those two steel choice, we always want better steels, and the T6 on the back are two of my cons. So let's hit those first. When I was tearing this thing apart, you can see in my teardown video, I'll link that below, that I had a hard time. These are T6, so you have a T8 for your pivot, T6 here, and I don't have a dual T6 driver, so I had to get a T5 in there and try to hold that in there while I backspun it. But those are free spinning, and they spun on me, so I couldn't get this thing apart the first time I tried. Hence why I have a take 2 on my teardown. So that I wish just instead of going, what they do is they don't go into the backspace, they actually go into a couple of threaded pins, and those free spin inside of the backspacer. So I wish that they just were tapped into the backspacer, then they wouldn't spin. They were just peeled right out. So that's one thing. Very minimal. I got it apart. I just have to probably invest in 2 T6. I always have 2 T8 for pivots that are free spinning, but I didn't have a T6. So that's one kind of a knockdown. Now let's dive into that steel. So what is N690? I had to look it up too. I'm not really familiar with it. And here's what I found on the old internets. The N690 is produced in a small Austrian plant. It provides a steel for surgical equipment. So N690, is a good steel. And it's very similar to VG10 is what they're saying. Some knife makers consider VG10 from Japan to be a better steel for comparison than 440. So some people are comparing the N690 to 440 and also to VG10. So it's kind of, what I'm reading is kind of in between there. Both are, pretty budget steels. Its overall performance and ability to hold an edge is superior, though, to 440. I definitely have a 440 knife in my collection. Yeah, it's pretty much garbage. And I agree, this does hold an edge much better than 440C. And I would compare it to VG10. I have a couple knives in VG10 now. One is actually a Quiet Carry IQ, and it takes an edge. It holds it pretty well. The nice thing that I like about the VG10 is that you can get an edge back on it pretty dang fast. And that's what I found with this in my testing. The N690 takes an edge pretty quick. I run it just up and down a ceramic block, or I strop it with a leather strop, and it brings back that edge really fast, turns it into razor sharp. But really, after another week of using this thing in the office, around the shop, opening up boxes, etc., it does lose its edge. So that's one thing. Probably my biggest complaint is the steel. But really, it's kind of hard. I paid $75 on Kickstarter for this guy, for the G10, and that's a pretty dang good price. And for that money, yeah, of course, I would love a super steel. I would love some S35VN or whatever. But what you get is this N690. It takes an edge. It holds it pretty well. With that flat grind going all the way up. I mean, she's slicey, so that's great. So really, I'm leaving this review. I'm really happy. Overall conclusions, this thing is great. Great knife. Quiet Carry did a wonderful job. The thing just operates like a dream. it's a fun little knife. So, yeah, I'm gonna really enjoy carrying this thing throughout its life. I'm gonna have this thing in my collection for some time. I definitely encourage you to go to quietcarry.com. Hopefully these things come on order soon for you, and you got to pick one up. I mean, I gotta say that resin he's been putting on his Instagram looks incredible. I love my blacked out. I want something stealthy, blacked out, cool. But some of those colors that he's getting are just awesome. So might have to get a couple of these, if you know what I mean, depending on the mood. So yeah, thank you very much. This has been the Quiet Carry Chase review. I'm Jacob Lundquist. Stop back again, and I hope we can do this again. So take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.